This has been the first time where I felt like I wasn't nervous to answer questions. And my mom asked me like, "Where did you get this? See this money I made?" I'm like, "What did you do? Like, how could you do that?" I guess we didn't really understand the concept of like ownership that much. Treat yourself like you would treat your pet. If they're doing something bad, you have to scold them. If they're doing something good, you praise them. I guess.
So has anybody ever told you that you give good advice? That's great. That this is the most evil thing that you've done.
That I can think of.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to share more?
I think there was my friends and I.
This is Comedy featuring. My name is Big and welcome to the show. And today we are talking to Bible. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับผม
สวัสดีครับ So finally.
Yes.
Finally. You know why you're here, right?
I do know why I'm here.
I mean, besides the fact that we want you to be here on the show because we want to talk to you, but your fans.
Oh yes.
They have requested over and over and over. And I think you're one of the top most requested guests to be on the show.
Huge honor. I mean, I also wanted to be on here. In fact, I actually I talked to my team about being on here, and then it was actually very like serendipitous that they were already in contact with you guys. So like very very lucky. It's funny how those things kind of just fall into place.
Yeah. So Kusu, how are you feeling right now?
Oh, it's excited and I feel honored to be here. Yes.
But you look very chill.
I'm keeping it
Keeping it on the inside. Yeah. Okay, we have a lot to cover today.
Okay,
so
yes.
why don't we just jump right into it?
Let's go.
So we're gonna do something called the acronym interview.
Okay.
So basically, we're gonna take the letters from your names, and then since our show is called Comedy, so we're just gonna talk about the words that's from your name, and then we just go through all of them. Okay. So obviously, we would like to start with your name. So BIBLE, that's your name, right? So Bible, the letter B.
Yes.
Bible. So any story behind that name? Have you ever like wondered growing up that why am I named Bible? Who gave me the name, and what is the intention behind the name?
I actually did. I asked my dad why he named me that when I maybe I was around like 8 years old, and then. Thai names, they're like nicknames. They're not like our real names. And then so he said that, well, I named your brother Jonathan after he read the book by Jonathan Siegel.
Right.
And then and then he said that you're also named after a book. And we grew up as a Christian family, and he said that he was recently a born-again Christian at the time, and he wanted to be reminded to read the Bible more. And so that's why he named me.
Yeah, like you just mentioned, but sometimes our nickname as a Thai person is not the real name. So have you had the problem like I used to do? Because every time I introduce myself to a native speaker, probably. So, hello, my name is Big.
Yeah.
And they would always wonder, like, what?
Yeah.
Why is your name an adjective? Do you have the same problem?
A little bit, but actually, in terms of Thai names, mine is pretty tame. There's people like let's say Tangmo or something like that. That's even harder to explain to
for example, like why is your name Table? Because every time we introduce ourselves in Thai language, we have to translate because they always wonder like what does that mean? Right?
Or actually, because Bible is it's the same in English as it is in Thai, so it's a little bit easier. But then they always be like, oh, that's such a unique name and stuff like that. And then I always have to be like, oh, because in Thailand, it's like more of a nickname.
Like every time we introduce ourselves, there's always a story to tell. That's a good thing, right? Okay, so B-I. So the letter I. Let's do the word indulgence or indulge. So basically, indulge means you kind of allow yourself to enjoy something probably too much. Probably too much sometimes, right? So what do you indulge yourself in, or what is your guilty pleasure, if you will?
Okay. I love to consume media. So gaming.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I game a little bit too much.
Yeah. Are you an addict?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
But if I do have free time, I would just dive into a game, and then maybe I love watching YouTube. Maybe a little bit too much as well. So if I have a day off, it would probably just be spent on YouTube or on games.
Yeah. Anything else like probably food you like or
Actually,
other activities?
Not too much.
So you're not a foodie?
No, not really.
Okay. All right.
But you will see me like just lose hours on YouTube, especially like YouTube Shorts. I'll just scroll and watch it all day.
What kind of content do you enjoy specifically?
I love DIY content.
DIY?
Yeah.
Really? So you're a DIY kind of guy too?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you DIY basically?
My philosophy is that if I can make it rather than buy it, it would probably be made, So knives, tables, axes,
cool.
Anything basically.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a good philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's I. We have done I. So let's do another B.
Okay.
And let's do something pretty intense.
Okay.
Betrayal.
Betrayal.
So what kind of thing would you see as the ultimate betrayal? Who or what or?
I think if I had like the ultimate betrayal for me would be any form of like cheating with a significant other, like การนอกใจ. Yeah. So like at any form of relationship, that's where it ends for me. So like even if we're married with kids, that's it. Like if you cheat on me, then that's over.
It.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, they say the more you love the person or the closer you are, the bigger the betrayal, right?
I think there's a saying like that's the worst thing about betrayal is that you never see it coming because it's usually coming from the person. It has to come from a person that you trust. Yeah.
Right.
So like if an enemy hurts you, that's not betrayal. That's like
yeah. That's where it hurts.
Yeah.
Come from the person we trust the most.
Yeah. So like I think if you're intimate with somebody, that's like the ultimate form of trust, and so that's my ultimate form of betrayal as well. L.
Now, the letter L, we are thinking of the word learn.
Okay.
Because personally, I think it's really big and it's very important that you keep learning, right?
Yeah.
So what was the last thing that you just learned?
The last thing
that you want to share?
Ooh. Actually, I can't really think of like one specific thing. Maybe learning to let go. Learning to let go. Yeah.
Right.
They say that problems are kind of like rocks. The tighter you hold on to it, the more it hurts you. Kind of just gotta let it go. And it's such a hard thing to try to. It's how do you say it? Like it's so much easier to just say, "Oh, just let go," but then like. When you actually try to do it, it's much more challenging than you realize. So yeah, I'm learning too.
Yeah. So teach us something interesting. Like what is one English word that you want our audience to learn today from you?
Actually, this actually might be a funny word, but
we love funny.
Yeah, chatoyancy.
What?
Chatoyancy. It's derived from the French. It's derived from French. It means the reflective qualities that an object has.
Ooh.
Chatoyancy. Yes.
Can you spell?
I actually cannot spell it, but I'll look it up.
All right.
I just remember because it's such an interesting sounding word.
Yeah.
Chatoyancy. Okay. Chatoyancy. Chatoyancy.
Oh, that is so cool.
It is. It's often used to describe what they call the cat's eye. In like in precious stones such as like opal or something like that.
Yeah.
It's that like really like reflective line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they can also use it in wood, and which is where I actually got it from. There's a woodworker on YouTube who described this, and I was just like, that I don't know what the word just stuck in my mind.
Yeah. But, I mean, maybe some words you can use every day, but it's cool to know and it's cool to learn. Yeah. And when you hear it, you know what it means. Yeah. Wow. So we have to write that down. And maybe that's a cool word.
So like if you see a wood like a figured wood like a burl wood and something like that, after you like polish it and give it a nice finish, you'll see that it has like three-dimensional pattern. That's chatoyancy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to the last letter from your name, the letter E.
Okay.
We're thinking of the word eulogy.
Eulogy.
Yeah, another intense word.
Okay, yeah.
So eulogy basically means what people say about you at your funeral.
Yeah.
Right. So what kind of eulogy do you imagine people might say or read out to you at your funeral?
Well, to be honest, I actually haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really thought about it because I don't really mind because like, I believe that I won't know what people say because after I'm gone, I'm probably gone, right?
Yeah.
But I would hope people would say how much I matter to them or how much I value to them because that's how I view people, like especially the people who are closest to me, like my friends and family. I guess I just hope that I was as valuable to them as they are to me. So like, I hope it's reflected in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've done with your name, your real name, Bible, let's go to another name that really made you famous and very well known.
Yeah.
So Vegas.
Of course.
Yeah, and all interesting letters in there. So let's start with V.
V.
Okay. Do you have any favorite words starting with V?
Actually, it's another Vegas, but the vagus nerve, the one that's actually in control of. Oh my goodness, I forgot what it was in control of, but it's a nerve in the brain that's very important.
It's actually called the vagus nerve?
But it's spelled differently.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's.
Should I ask you how to spell it again?
Okay, I want to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have prepared.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
So vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve is actually VAGUS.
VAGUS. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
It's the parasympathetic nervous system. It controls the specific body functions, the ones that you don't think about. Parasympathetic means that like breathing or digesting or like blood flow.
The
one that
autopilot thing.
Yes, autopilot. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's cool.
We are learning, you guys. We keep learning cool words from Bible today. Oh, that's nice. So let's do RV.
Okay, yes, V.
I like the word vulnerable or vulnerability.
Okay.
So vulnerable means your weak point, basically, right? So what is your weak point, you think?
This maybe not a good idea to talk about it.
To reveal your weakness?
But in all honesty, like I'm pretty sure like my friends and family are my vulnerable like weakness. Because like you can go after me or you can insult me and I can like not brush it off, but like it won't make me as heated or as angry as if you go after somebody I care about. That makes me, that brings out more emotions, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so you're close with your family?
Yes, and I have really good friends that I would call brothers as well.
Wow,
They're
cool.
also like my family.
Yeah, like your blood family and family you choose.
Yes.
They're both important, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they could be, if we love them that much, of course, it's our vulnerability.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so E. This is, I think, what a lot of people would be very interested to hear from your point of view. English. Yeah, so it sounds to me like your English is your first language, not Thai.
Technically, no, but at this point, I would say yes.
Yeah, so you speak English like more fluently or more in real life?
Yeah, I would say my English proficiency is higher than Thai. Much higher, actually.
Yeah. Because did you go to like international school or bilingual school?
I went to an international school ever since preschool, actually. And then I went, so from K through 12, I met friends who are not Thai, who are from actually all over the place. There's from America, Canada, US, I already said that, Norway as well, Philippines. And so these group of guys, I grew up with them since like kindergarten. And then I would hang out with them like, day and night because we would live in the neighborhood together. And so not only did I go to an international school, I also got absorbed into international cultures, meeting their families and stuff like that. So almost 24 hours out of the day I would spend using English only.
Yeah. I think that's the key, right?
Yeah.
If you keep using it like almost all the time, of course you're fluent in English. Yeah. And not only that, you manage to keep your Thai like as fluent as well.
Somewhat.
Not somewhat. I think you're pretty good at your Thai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's at a manageable level. Like I can use Thai on a daily basis. Yeah.
Do you have any suggestion for those who really wanted to improve their English, but they're still struggling?
I would say to just consume a lot of English media, like whether it be music or series, but it has to be consumed in a conscious way. You can't just be like, okay, I'll just watch series like or whatever. So you have to watch the series. You have to have subtitles on in English as well. But if you're not that proficient yet, then maybe have Thai subtitles, and then really try to understand what they're saying. And then with music as well, like people just say, oh, I listen to English or like international music all the time, but then like do you actually listen to the lyrics or do you just have it like on in the background? So I would say listen to it and then look at the lyrics as well, and then maybe even take notes about like what the song is saying. Try to connect with it. It's
like do extra work if
like
you want
active,
to.
Active with it.
Right, not just have it in the background. Just pay attention to it, and like you do the search all the time, you Google stuff all the time. Just Google the lyrics and maybe try to study the meaning behind the song.
It's just that one switch from passive to active learning.
Wow, this is very important.
Yeah.
Cool, great advice. So another thing that I want to talk to you about, since you're very good at English and obviously this could be a big advantage. So the letter G, global. Yeah, because if you are able to use English well, you can go practically anywhere in the world. And not only that, not only for like traveling, you can do the work. You can work outside of Thailand too. So have you ever thought of like going global in terms of professionally?
Yes, I have thought about it. I mean, that is the goal. But like we're taking it one step at a time. I recently had the opportunity to go to the U.S. For work, and that was more than I could ever dream of. Like my first time traveling abroad for work was to Singapore, and then at that point I already felt like, oh, I'm international now. It feels so different to go somewhere for work, right? Than it is to go for a vacation. So like I felt, I want to keep this feeling. I want to have this feeling again. And then when I got to go to America, right, a place where English is their native language, getting to use it in a professional setting, it was surreal for me because I grew up in the American culture, but I never actually thought I would be like getting to use it for work.
So how do you see yourself working internationally? Like the acting or something else?
Honestly, at this point, I would take anything. Like, I would love to go overseas to work again. So fingers crossed, if it's for acting, then fantastic. But if it's not, then I think take any opportunity as it comes, and then we'll see. Yeah,
you've done some acting using both languages before.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit for the English part. Can you imagine how different it would be if you can just do all the acting in whole English?
I think it would take a lot of stress out of my mind because I don't connect with the Thai language as much.
Okay.
And I always feel like, man, am I going to get the lines right? And then honestly, a majority of the time spent in workshops and in preparation for the role was just memorizing the lines.
Get your Thai right.
Yes, get my Thai right. And then even sometimes I'm like, I had to fight for the English lines. I'm like, can I just say this in English? And then like I had to justify it. Be like, cause like, it's like this. And then the director or people on the producer would be like, okay, I'll let this slide.
You have to negotiate.
A little. Sometimes when I push it too far, I'll be like, no, pull it back a little bit. It's gotta have some Thai.
Okay. Yeah, but you've done a great job.
Oh, thank you.
But it would be a lot more natural to you, would you say?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. We cannot wait to see your work in the international space.
I would love to have the opportunity as well. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So another thing that we came across from doing research on your like past interview, we saw this word came up, and I think it would be an interesting word for our audience to learn today. Ambidextrous. Ambidextrous.
Yes.
So basically, it means what?
It means you can use both left and right to do multiple tasks.
Okay.
Yep.
So does it have to be like equally well? Or?
I think that there's like two definitions of where like you can do it equally well, like you can write with both left and right hand. But then for me, my type of ambidextrous is I can do certain tasks with one or the other.
Oh, okay.
Or actually side of my body, not just hands.
Okay. So which side of you do you used to do what? Like left side for what? Right side for what?
So it's actually interesting. There is like no rhyme or reason that I found of why it's like this, but it's just the way my brain works, I guess. So I write with my left and I brush my teeth with my left, but my stronger side is actually my right. So I can lift more with my right side. And when I was learning boxing, for some reason I just was more comfortable with the regular stance.
Oh.
And so people would think because I'm left-handed, I would be southpaw, which is left on the backhand.
Okay.
But it actually isn't.
Yeah.
And then when I was learning to play soccer or football, it was actually my right foot that I was more comfortable using, which is, just kind of random.
So there's no rule.
There's no rule or rhyme or reason. But then you would think like, okay, so for detailed work, for like writing or drawing left hand, I actually hold the knife with my right.
Okay.
So like when I cook, I hold with my right.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's like very instinctive.
I just
like your own
pick it up
instincts.
with whatever side is.
So do you think this could be like an advantage for you to, I don't know.
I think it could be a disadvantage at some times because my friend. So like we like to do archery and we like to do airsofting. So then when he picks up, let's say when he presents the weapon, he's left eye dominant, but he's right-handed, which means that it's really bad for him to aim with archery or with a gun or anything like that.
Okay.
But for me, I'm left-handed, but I hold the archery with my right, and I'm right eye dominant, which is good for me because then everything's in sync. And so when things go out of sync, that's where the problems start.
Cool. Because I don't think I have ever met an ambidextrous person in real life, so I never got to ask these kind of questions. Yeah, I think it's like intriguing. So how your body works, and like you said, no rhyme or reason. There's no rule.
It's just
probably you could like discover like more skills in the future that is going to be a new skill, and it's going to be very interesting to know that which side would work better.
Or I can see like, hey, I've learned it this way my whole life, but maybe I can switch to see if it's more comfortable. Or not.
Oh, okay. So have you tried to brush with your other hand before and
I
see
have.
if
It's difficult. I can't. What I have done was driving actually. So if I'm driving manual in Thailand, it's gear on the left side.
Right.
But when I drove a manual car in the US, I actually got to try it on the right. Maybe because you don't really drive manual that often, so maybe I could learn both.
Yeah. I think it's fun. It's fun to discovering your like new skills every day. Okay, so the last letter for the Vegas is S. So struggle.
Yeah.
We have mentioned a little before about struggling to improve the English. So I want to ask you personally, are you struggling with anything at all right now?
I think I'm struggling with what many people are struggling with is change, honestly. Yeah. Change is always difficult. Because you always kind of want to hold on to something because of, I guess, either you're used to it or it's familiar. But change can be good or bad. But I think there's always a level of struggle there, especially when it's change outside of your personal control. So I think that's one thing I'm struggling with right now.
Okay. So if you can choose, you prefer to change not so often, or
honestly,
or you're the kind of person who enjoys change?
It's a very slippery slope, right? Like if you say like, oh, I don't want to change as much, but then like but then like you never grow if you don't change, right?
Exactly.
So and all the changes that I've overcome, or like all the changes that happen and that I've overcome, and I've like picked up lessons from, I wouldn't go back in time and be like, oh, I wouldn't want change. So I think it's important to just let things take its course. But then, it's not easy sometimes.
Yeah, because a lot of times when it's happening, it could be a real pain.
Yes.
But once it's like you get it over with and you struggle and you overcome it, looking back is almost always a good thing that it happened, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It can be overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah. So that part you have to get used to, I guess, because especially in this day and age, you cannot avoid change at all, and it happens so like very frequently. More than we care to accept.
In every aspect of life as well, because like you think about, for me right now, I like to look into AI, and that's changing so fast. It's changing so many aspects, and so like I look back at like my life in certain aspects as well. It's like it's actually changing just as fast if you think about it. Everything can like bring in. It's almost like the butterfly effect. It's like you can trace it back to just the one thing that leads to kind of like big waves in your life, the ripple effect as well.
Yeah. So as long as you can enjoy the change and learn from the change,
it's about the journey.
I think you're fine, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're done with two names.
Okay.
Bible and Vegas. So we take a look at your Instagram handle. So Bible Sumett.
Yes.
So that's a part of your last name.
It's actually most people don't really know this, but I actually took that handle in honor of my grandfather. Actually, his name is Kun Sumett.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And then so I didn't like the full name because it's too long for like
Sumettikun.
Yeah. So I took that in honor of him as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna do Sumett too in honor of your grandfather. Okay, so let's start with another S.
Okay.
Silkworm. Just help me understand. Why? How did you find out in the first place that you are allergic to silkworm? And
I actually didn't know. When I was younger, I took pride in the fact that I wasn't allergic to anything. Like when the doctors asked me, like, "Are you allergic?" I'm like, "No." Like because like
you haven't done tests, right? Like allergic test?
Allergen test? I don't think so, but I've never like been like allergic to anything.
Right.
And I would have friends who would say like, "Oh, I'm allergic to peanuts or something like that." I'm like, I'm not allergic to anything.
I'm invincible. Pretty much.
When you're younger.
Yeah. And how do you find out?
I not used to. I still like eating insects. So like lot duan, like bamboo worms and stuff like that. But I would always stick to like that. And then like one day my mom went to the market and then she like picked me up silkworms because she was like, "Hey, try this. This is also good." So I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so like, as a kid, I would just eat
Also,
it.
this is a long time ago.
Yes. So it's like around like 10 or 11.
So what happened after
I just
that?
ate the whole bag, and I was like, "Oh yeah, mom, it's pretty good." Yeah. I went to sleep, and then like I woke up like really, really bad rash, like all over my body, from like head to toe, especially like on the neck.
Okay.
And then like on the legs. I remember it being so bad that I couldn't sleep. And I think I was too young to know about like antihistamines. So like I didn't know what to do. So like I would just I was scratching, I was writhing and like in discomfort. And then like I would go to the shower, hot shower, cold shower, anything that could help. Like it was really, really bad. And I remember staying up all night because I didn't want to wake my parents. And I didn't know what was going on either because I couldn't put two and two
so
together.
You didn't any connection to the silkworm? Okay.
It was just like, oh, what is happening? I'm like in such pain, in such discomfort right now.
Right.
And then...
But nothing worse than that, like
nothing
vomit
worse.
or...
No.
Okay,
but
just
like,
rash.
Very, very like itchy. Yeah. So then the next morning, like I couldn't get like a wink of sleep. And then like I told my mom, like, "Mom, like and I showed her. She's like, "Why didn't you just wake me up? There's like antihistamines." I'm like, "I didn't know that there was a thing." And then like, and she's like, and I asked her like, "What's going on? Like, how does it happen?" Like, it's an allergic reaction. It's probably the silkworm. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Now I know. I'm not gonna eat it anymore. Yes.
So how did you feel to know that you're not that invincible after all?
it kind of sucks. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because like every time they ask me, like a doctor asked me, like, are you allergic to any medicine? I always say no, but in my head it'd be like, oh, silkworms. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's super unique, I would say, because I have never heard of like silkworm allergy before.
Yeah. And I Googled it. It's like something inside, very, very like specific component or compound inside that silkworms have. So,
but it's got to be the silkworm. So have you confirmed like afterward?
I remember it being such an uncomfortable experience that I have not tested my theory, but I have not experienced anything like that again. So it probably is just the silkworms.
This is very unique, like very special.
Yeah.
Okay. You. Okay.
S-U, yeah.
How about the word utopia?
Ooh, utopia.
Fancy, right?
Yeah.
So if you had a chance to create your own version of utopian world, how would you imagine that going?
Oh my goodness. I would imagine it burning down in flames. I'm pretty sure a lot, actually not just a lot, countless people, countless brighter minds than me have thought about utopia, and I think that's where socialism came from, right? And also communism came from.
Okay.
It's all good on paper. Yeah, but in actual practice,
you don't think that would work, right?
I don't think utopia exists. They even did an experiment, the rat experiment, the rat utopia, where they had like big open area for rats that had unlimited food, unlimited access to mates, unlimited access to everything, like and rats were miserable. I feel like we are creatures of survival almost. Like if we get too comfortable with not surviving, that I don't know. We have a really primitive brain actually.
Yeah.
Humans are run, and all animals actually are run by the dopamine system, the motivational system. So if there's nothing to motivate us, then there's nothing to drive us to move forward.
Yeah.
And I think we would just be depressed.
Right.
And so my version of utopia, at the risk of sounding like utilitarian, I guess have an abundance of basic needs, have an abundance of competition, and have an abundance of I think those two.
I love how you put in competition in there.
It has
because when people talk about utopian, it's like, oh, we get everything we want, like immediately, just a snap of a finger. But if you don't compete or you don't struggle a little bit, it would be so meaningless, right? What we get. So yeah, I really like that, like competition.
And then I think an abundance of connection, human connection. So like healthy competition, connection, and abundance of basic needs. I think that would be my version of utopia.
I think that would be great for to get us going without being too miserable to the level that we don't want to do anything at all. So I love all those three things that you just list out there.
Because like
I would like to live in that world.
I think honestly that's the type of world that we sort of live in now, except for the abundance of basic needs. There's still there's still individuals who don't have access to all that. But
even something we take for granted, like clean water.
That is something incredible to think about, like that we have running water, like just snap of a finger, we have water.
Great answer. I really like that. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on from utopia to M. The letter M. Mental health. It's very big right now, and I think it's a lot closer than we realize. The mental health issue. A lot of people take it for granted. A lot of people do not know how to identify people with mental health problem, who is probably very close to them. So you have a relatively like stressful job. It could be, right?
I would agree with that statement.
And competition and everything or the whole nine yard. But how do you keep yourself happy and sane? That would be my question.
I think in terms of jobs, mine is not it's pretty cushiony, to be honest. It's not the hardest. but it's actually not easy either. So I would think just in general, not just in like the professional world, I think in general, mental health is a struggle. It can be a struggle no matter what profession or what position or just whatever, what kind of individual you are. I think for me personally, I do exercise. Exercise.
Okay.
Anything physical and of course seeking professional help is two very, very important things that can, help with mental health.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting that you mentioned exercise because a lot of people might think, oh, okay, mental health is up here. But actually doing the physical work can help up here as well, right?
Very connected, like one whole system, like the mental and physical is all connected. And so if you don't want to exercise or you feel like I'm so lazy or whatever like that, like you can tie physical or just movement, let's call it movement. You can tie movement into other things as well. You can go for a walk. If you have a pet, you can walk with your dog. You can spend time just outside in nature, stuff like that. I hate to sound preachy, right? Because like sometimes exercise can seem like such a controversial topic because like people just be like, let me live my life and stuff like that. And so at the risk of sounding preachy, just any type of bodily movement, you can do it. You can do it in an aerobics class or a dance class or like rock climbing. Like there are activities out there that you don't have to define as exercise, just like movement.
Yeah, I like how you replace exercise with move.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what human bodies like is for.
Yeah,
I think you're designed by nature to move. So just move every time. I even heard some like advice, like every time you like get stressed about something, just go run or go play or something. Just like do something physical for a change. Then it could help up here.
Yep.
It could be very beneficial. Yeah.
Another thing is actually quite rare, I think, is to put yourself into discomforting situations or things. There's a thing called cold therapy where you do like ice bath for like 2 to like 10 minutes depending on how cold it is. And that's like, it helps release adrenaline and it helps like your mental strength of being in like, okay, your body is going to go into shock. It's going to tell you to get out, but you have to calm that feeling. So like you're basically like connecting with your body and then it also deals with the fight or flight response. And that kind of thing is also really good for mental health. For me, I get it with running.
Okay.
Because when you run, like there's a quote, but I don't know by who, but they said that running never gets easier, you just get faster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I love that because no matter how much I run, it still sucks. It's still like, I still feel like I'm about to die. It's, oh my goodness, I wish it was over. Why did I commit to this?
Yeah.
But being able to push through the pain and to know like, hey, I can do this. And, that's also really, really great because afterwards you feel so mentally strong. Like I pushed through that. Yeah. I commanded myself to fight through the pain or whatever. Yeah.
Going back to what you talked about a little bit in the utopia thing, survival mode.
Yeah.
We need to feel that we have to survive something. Otherwise, if we get too comfortable, we'll be super fat and lazy.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who like growth, I think that's what you need to get yourself into, like the situation where you have to like survive or fight the discomfort of something, right?
But that can be that like competition, like especially in physical sports, is a really, really good simulation of fight or flight without having like actual danger per se.
Yeah, no real risk.
No real risk. Like, but you can get injured, but like, there's not like
not
a lion
life-threatening.
There's not like a lion chasing you,
right?
Or something like that. Yeah. So I think that's like also really good for mental health, like healthy competition.
Yeah. So do sport. It doesn't have to be running
or
any kind of sport you like.
Esports as well. That's really good healthy competition as well. But also pair that with some physical movement as well.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good advice. Another good advice. I love it. Okay, let's do another intense word.
Okay.
I think. How about the word enemy? Because we're doing E right now, right?
Okay, enemy.
So enemy. Do you have any who or what would you say is your worst enemy?
I think this answer might be the same for a majority of people, is that you yourself are your worst enemy. Yeah, because I strongly believe that you're your worst critic. You're always going to be the one who pulls yourself down more than anybody else. And you're always going to be the most critical of yourself. And you're always going to be the one to put yourself down. Like,
you could be the meanest
you
person
are the meanest person
for
to yourself. You are the meanest person to yourself.
Yeah.
And also, sometimes the thing that's preventing you from getting better is also yourself. Most of the time, it's something that you don't even realize sometimes. And so I think if you look at external factors, say like 100 people give you a compliment and one person says something bad, and you yourself take the bad thing, then it's not about the external factors anymore.
Yeah.
It's about you yourself. Yeah.
Fixating
Yeah.
to that one comment.
One comment. Yeah.
And how do we turn that enemy into a friend?
You have to be. I'm guilty of this sometimes, right? Like of being too self-critical. And so I think for me, I always tell myself I have to be fair to myself. I have to treat myself like how I would treat other people. So if I mess something up or I don't do as well as I thought I should, I have to be like, hold on, wait a minute. If somebody I loved did something same, what would I say to them? Would I say, come on, man, why did you do that?
Right?
Yeah. Or would I say, it's okay. Like you tried, you get them next time or something like that. So we have to treat ourselves like somebody that we love or that is worthy of our love.
Oh, again, I really like how you use the word fair instead of super kind, because that could be like poisonous sometimes too when you are being too kind to yourself, right? But you have to be fair, like the way you treat your best friend.
Yeah.
That's how you treat yourself.
Or treat a pet, because sometimes like you're really fair with your pet and you don't realize it. You're actually the most fair with your pet. If they're doing something bad, you have to scold them. If they're doing something good, you praise them. So treat yourself like you would treat your pet. You're like, you gotta take care of them.
You know what I heard? I heard someone saying things about, and I really like this idea. Just talk to yourself like you are talking to your pet, like in เสียงสอง
Yeah, the second voice.
Right?
Yeah.
You just be kind to yourself like you are with your like puppies or kittens. Yeah. Very good.
That's good advice as well.
So is that how you talk to yourself too? Like,
I mean, I guess in a way, I guess subconsciously, because I go like, come on, man, like, like maybe that's how I would talk to my cat in a sense. But maybe the words aren't there, but the energy is there. Energy,
Oh, I really like that. Yeah. Okay. Just talk to yourself in เสียงสองนะครับทุกคน It's a good idea. Yes, it's the matter of like practice. Maybe you don't get it on your first try because you are so used to being so hard on yourself.
I like that you mentioned that as well, because our first instinct is to always like to loop back to our old habits.
And we cannot blame ourselves for that, because we do want to get better, and we want to. Well, a lot of times we kind of have the idea that only you can help yourself, which is not wrong. But it doesn't have to be like in the like toxic manner.
I think a lot of us sometimes have a really, really bad relationship with ourselves, and it's true for me as well. Like there's things that you need to work on. And I think it's important to have conversations with yourself. And so, like when you do have it in เสียงสอง it's good.
But for a lot of you guys out there, if you are watching the show right now and you kind of, oh, that's me. I had a really bad relationship with myself. Just don't be hard on yourself either for that.
Yes.
Because it would take some getting used to. It would take some practice. And you have to give yourself time. Right.
What's also interesting is that like imagine if you yourself could pull like yourself out like and have an actual physical conversation with yourself, if you were somebody else and they were talking to you that way, would you even want to listen to them?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like I don't want to listen to you. All you're doing is criticizing me. You're being so negative. And so like maybe it will be more helpful to yourself to listen to actually like something constructive, and then you actually want to listen to yourself more.
Great advice. So has anybody ever told you that you give good advice?
I've heard it, but like I honestly don't want to overthink that too much. I just think I just want to share what ideas and advice that I implemented. And honestly, I'm like a reflector. Honestly, I just get good advice and then I just like bounce it back to people. So I don't want to take credit for anything.
And a lot of time we always give good advice if that problem is something that we don't have ourselves.
Maybe.
Yet looking into other people's life and then just tell them what to do.
Like
it's
cutting
always
your own hair.
easier, right?
Like you can't cut your own hair, but you can cut somebody else's. Or like,
Exactly. Wow, cool. So, Sumette, S-U-M-E. We have another 2 T's left.
Right.
So the first T would be tutor.
Okay.
So we have learned that you used to be a tutor too.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So when I was, just finished high school actually, I wanted to get extra income any way I knew how, and like you said, I'm good at English, and so I went to an institution, like a tutoring institution, and I'm like, hey, even though I don't have like any proficiency, you can interview me. And then you'll know that I can teach English at least at a basic level, or like enough that, or like conversational English, and which is what I tutored for. And so
conversational
mainly. English, yes.
I see.
And so like I would work with Thai students who would want to go on an exchange program, whether to the UK, the US, and then they would need to practice their conversational English. And so I would pick topics for them, topics that they're interested in, and then I would have conversations with them for like 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Yep.
You had thought about it before you go into like the place to ask for a job. Like you thought about what you could do, what you could be helpful for, and who do you want to teach?
Well, to be fair, my brother actually was the one who tutored there first. And then he lists like the not available positions, but like the what the institution offers, and then like I can be like, oh yeah, I can do this. So that's what I went for.
And this is when you were
like freshman in university.
I see. Okay, so how did it go? Did you enjoy it?
Really well, because actually the students were around my age or just a little bit younger. They were just getting ready for university, so like without that age gap, it's really easy to have conversations with them. So I can be like, what are you interested in? Okay, soccer? Gotcha. Let me search up like topics about that. Or you like fashion? Gotcha. Let me search up topics about that. You like current events? We can talk about that as well and stuff like that.
So you did homework for them?
Yes.
Okay. So were you more like conversational partner, not like teacher, or do you still like teach some grammar points or something like that?
A little bit. But like it's only when they were struggling to find words, or they were like using incorrect sentence structure. But that's just for my English tutor. I was also a math tutor as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're good at math too? Math and English?
I'm very average at math.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you could tutor.
It was only at like elementary level math. So I like year 2 or 3 of university. So like year 2 or 3, I had a summer back in Chiang Mai, I think, and then I got to tutor on site and online for like it was mostly international students, like Chinese students, like foreign students who were in a bilingual school, and then they wanted extra like math tutoring, something like that. So like at like 3rd grade level, so it was easy for me to just like teach them that.
Cool. So what kind of teacher would you say you were?
I think very methodical.
Methodical, really?
Yeah.
Okay, like how?
So if they were struggling with certain concept, say it was math, then I would just break it down to like the barest bones of like what don't they understand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were you strict?
No, I don't think I was strict.
But very methodical.
I think so. I don't think I realized it, but honestly, it's such a weird thing to look back at the way I tutored because I didn't really think about it that much of how I tutored. I had like the lesson plan and I just went along with that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you were to teach someone right now, like today, about English.
Yep.
So just look into the camera and teach our audience about something that they can do to magically, if you will, improve their English.
Okay, so here's a suggestion that I always give non-native English speakers is to go out, right, in your daily life, any opportunity you can find, if there's an English-speaking person, like you hear it, go up to them and have a conversation. And that's difficult because I'm an introvert, right? If somebody gave me that advice, I'd be like, come on, man. But it's the one thing that will not only help your social skills, but help you improve English is to use it. And then trust me, foreigners are very nice. They'll if you say something wrong, they'll be happy to correct you, or they'll just be like, they'll try to understand you. It's like people will have conversations with you. Like if you come out and approach them in like in a very friendly way.
Don't be creepy.
Don't be creepy.
Don't be creepy, man.
Or just like have like a sentence that you practice. Be like, hello, I'm trying to practice my English.
Good
open with
opening.
that. Just open with that. You can be anywhere. At the market, 7-Eleven, boom. You might even make a friend along the way. So that is my advice on how to improve English like that. Because you ask people who like learn English or like learn a foreign language in like 2 to 3 years, like how? They went and lived there. That's how you do it. Like so.
Good advice. Another good advice. And I like it how you say that you should have an opening, like a healthy, wholesome, and safe opening, friendly opening. Just to tell them why you're here and why you're like just come up to them and talk.
It's just talk. Or if they're busy, then just be like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. But then if you open like that, it always puts them at ease, right? Like why are they approaching me? Oh, because I can speak English. Then if they feel like they want to help you, then of course they're going to be open. You know.
And again, if you don't get it the first try, just keep trying.
Keep trying.
So it doesn't matter at all. Maybe they're not very nice. You don't know that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Maybe they're not very nice, or maybe they're super busy. So it's okay. Just keep trying.
And the thing about Thailand is that it's a tourist country. So like there's English speakers like right outside, which is crazy to think about.
Right. Just give it a try. Just let us know how it goes too.
And it's okay. You can, if you're shy, you can be like, hello, I want to practice my English. I'm very shy. Just preface it. It's okay to be shy.
Cool. All right. But like you said, it's going to help both your English skill and social skill too. That's great.
And I think the problem with a lot of Thai English speakers is that they can speak English. They're just very, very scared to use it. And they're very nervous. And so this would also help get rid of the nerves in case like if one day they need to like actually use their English skills to like present something like that, then they won't be as nervous because they already got the practice. I think speaking with strangers is a lot easier is a lot harder, than going up to speak in front of like an audience.
For a lot of people, that is already the hardest thing to do in life. Okay, so the last letter.
Okay, here we go.
T. We love the word time. So, but we're gonna ask you about a lot of times. So, for example, tell us about the time you made the best decision of your life.
That's a really, really complicated question, actually. I think I'm going to cheat a little bit and say that I don't think there was like a time and place or like exact moment that I decided this, but it was like a philosophy that was instilled in me by, people that I admire, by family members, but that was just to take every opportunity that was given to me, right? To like appreciate it. Because I would always be like, if an opportunity came along, like before, I would be the person to be like, am I ready for it? Can I actually do it? And my old friend, not my friend, my old boss, he's still a friend. He said that if you don't try it, then how will you ever know if you're ready? Like so like he lived his life with that philosophy as well, where like if he ever got the opportunity to do something, if he didn't know how to do it, he would just learn.
Yeah.
And then he would just try. And if he couldn't do it, then that's okay.
Yeah.
So just dive in head first.
Yeah.
In everything. And I think that decision to slowly transition or to just continue to do that led me to where I am today. So
I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They think too much because they don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Understandable, right?
Yeah, of course.
But maybe you just have to do it in order to be ready. It's not the other way around.
Yeah.
You should not wait until you're super ready
Yeah.
and then do stuff, right? Yeah.
Or another thing is that you need to believe that you're someone who's capable of learning that, right? So like if an opportunity comes along, be like, oh, I don't know how to do that. But I believe that I can learn. So then just head in like head first and then learn.
That's a very good sentence to say to yourself. Like, I believe I can learn.
Yeah.
If I try, I can do it one day. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I really like it. Yeah. Okay. So tell me about the time you felt most disappointed.
Oh, most disappointed. I don't think there's like a specific time. I think there's just times where like I'm always disappointed in like myself. Like I said, you're always the most critical of yourself. And so failure, you know, you're always most disappointed in failure when you fail at something, when you really like try, and you are always the most critical of yourself. So, yeah.
So you're kind of person who keeps pushing and pushing, or you kind of just, okay, let me step back and look at it differently. And what is your strategy mostly to deal with like failure?
That's a really good question. I think to deal with failure, you just have to take the next step. Right. The failure is always inevitable. Everybody's going to fail. And then I think the most important thing to do after failure is just to take the next step after it. And then that first step is always going to be the hardest because you're always going to want to like kind of like wallow in your pity. Be like, come on, man. I'm like this and that and this. And like there's 100 different reasons. You can feel sorry for yourself, have a pity party. And the hardest thing to do is just to take the next step afterwards. Because then the step after that and the step after that and so on and so forth will be easier. But it's just the first one. Yeah.
So tell us about the time you did something evil.
Oh, evil.
Oh, okay. So it depends on how you define
evil.
How do
I define it?
Yeah. So what is the most evil that you ever been done?
I think this might not be that big of a deal, but when I was younger, this always like, you know, kind of sunk in my heart. My friends and I, we were like sap, you know, we were like naughty boys. And then we lived in a neighborhood where like everybody lived close by. So I could walk to my friend's house. And what we would do like is a very Western culture thing is called ding dong ditching. It's to run away.
Right.
And then I don't even know why I found it funny at the time, but we would do that at like night around like, you know, 8 or 9 p.m. I always feel guilty to this day. Like, I remember like probably disturbing somebody's evening. That's quite evil.
It sounded like a good idea and fun
at
things to do at the time. Especially when you're with your friends, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, haha.
Because
funny.
You would never do that on your own.
No.
Right?
Yeah, especially like in Asian culture, that's like, looking back at it, like, oh, how could I do that? Especially on a weekday in the evening, like I don't even want to call somebody on a weekday on the evening.
I know, let alone
like disturbing them from like their probably dinner time or like probably relaxing time. So I apologize for ding dong ditching.
But that's great that this is the most evil thing that you've done. So.
That I can think of.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So do you want to share more?
I think there was, my friends and I always wanted to be like entrepreneurs, even though we didn't even understand what that word meant at the time. We always just wanted to make money. I think I was 12 or 13. I had a neighbor who had a beautiful garden. He had like a coconut tree and like he grew lemons and like limes and had beautiful flowers. but it was a garden that wasn't it wasn't fenced off, and so like our idea was to go and pick like the limes and the coconut and to like put it into bags and then to go around selling them to make extra money.
Okay.
And so like we did that, and then like we made like maybe like 100 baht. That was a lot back then.
Yeah.
And then we bought snacks and we were happy, and we had like lemons left over, and so we I'll just take these lemons and then like manao. So I'll just take the lemon and then give it to like my family. They can like cook with it or something like that. And then my mom asked me like, where did you get this? And like we also had coconuts, like coconut left over. So like, where did you get these coconuts and lemons? So I'm like, I just picked them up from the garden and then like, you know, went and sold them. Like, see this money I made? I'm like, what did you do? Like, how could you do that? I guess we didn't really understand the concept of like ownership that much. So I ended up having to apologize to him. He said, it was okay.
But you did like go back and apologize?
Yeah, my parents made me go back and give the money back. Of course, he's a kind old man. He didn't accept my money.
Right.
But I learned.
But what did they say?
He just said,
did they like get upset or?
He didn't get upset at all. He's just like, it's okay. Yeah.
But don't do it again.
Yeah. But what I realized, I learned later on that lemons or manao actually takes a long time it's really hard to sprout as well.
Oh, really?
So I felt
I
extra
didn't know
bad.
that at all.
Yeah, like citrus is really hard to grow.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
I see you learned something from like doing evil thing, but don't do that.
Unless you own it.
Unless you own it, of course.
Don't sell other people's property.
Okay. Tell us about the time that you kind of felt like you didn't deserve to be here. Like imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
You heard about that, right?
Good
and
syndrome.
yeah, it could be a very bad experience and worst feelings, I would say. So have you experienced that before?
I think I experienced that every day.
Really?
Like all the time, really. Okay. Because if you look at it, like in terms of metrics, if you look at the actual numbers, there are way more people qualified to be where I am. And you can make an argument about that all day. You can be like, this person's more talented than you, this person's better looking, this person's even better at English than you, or better at singing, or better at acting. And then you can compare yourself with other people all day, and there'll always be somebody better than you. And that's just reality. That's fact that I got this opportunity. I'm very lucky to have it. But is there somebody more qualified? Yes, there is. But does that mean that I'm just going to be like, I'm not going to make the most of it? No, as well. So I had like the fake it until you make it attitude all the time. Because you kind of have to have it in whatever field you're in. You just have to, like I said, like you have to believe that you're capable of learning. And so that's why I feel like it creeps up in the back of my mind sometimes, the imposter syndrome, that like, yeah, there's better, more qualified or more talented people out there who deserve this position better than me or deserve this opportunity more than me. But then I have to be like, hold on, wait a minute. But I got here through my own merit, and I don't know how the laws of the universe works, but I'm here now and I have to make the most of it, or else it's a waste of opportunity.
Another phrase that you use that I like, just make the most out of it. Yeah.
Make the most out of it.
Because it's not like, I don't know, but I don't think you're stealing opportunity from someone else.
I really
honestly
don't think I'm stealing it from anybody else. But like the argument can be made, and the argument has been made that, you know, there's this person more talented, blah, 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 blah. That stuff can get to your head really easily.
You have to shut that down.
So realize that, yes, there are more talented people. But you know, they have their opportunities too, and I have my opportunities, so I'm gonna stay in my lane and do my best here.
So if you still think you don't deserve it, just change that. Change that into I deserve to be here,
I'm
right?
going to make it so that I deserve it.
So last question.
Okay.
I want you to tell us about the time that you make someone you love proud.
Ending it on a good note.
Yeah.
Of course, like my family, I want them to be proud of me, and like, you know, I always think about their approval of me and stuff like that. But for me, somebody who I really look up to is my grandfather, and also my grandpa. So like both on my mom's side and my dad's side. And I think for me when I really made both of them proud, but my grandpa actually passed away a while back. So like he was proud of me when I got into university. So that was a very, very big moment for me, that he was so proud of me when I got into university. And I'm glad that he got to see me. I'm glad he got to see that before he passed. And then my grandfather, who's still with me, is that I became financially independent. And you know, he's a big supporter of our family. He helped us through so many tough times, and so for him to see me finally be like stable or like have like security and to finally be able to stand on my own, I think that just took a huge weight off his shoulders, and like แบบโล่งอกโล่งใจ like okay, he's okay now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about me in this aspect anymore, and I think that really made him proud. So
Yeah, I'm sure they're super proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Your fans are proud of you immensely, I think, at the moment. And this has been a very fun and meaningful conversation.
Yes, for me too.
And you know what? You didn't even take a look at your note once.
I think I will have to in the next section, probably.
Yeah, because actually this guy has done his homework, and he is very well prepared for this show, and I really appreciate that. And thank you so much to make this a lot of fun, and it's very easy talking to you, and I wish this conversation can go on, because
wait,
I know
it's over?
This is over because we do have time limit, but if we didn't have any time limit, I can talk to you for like 2 hours.
Do we not have time to go to the...
We have another section.
Oh, that's another section.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
another section.
Okay.
So for now, this is I think let's say this is like a part 1 of your interview, but I'm not saying that part 2 is gonna happen like pretty soon, but I'm sure that you can come back to our show and talk more about many things that you have in store, have prepared for the future, and just come back and tell us about what you achieve more.
Oh, I would love to. It's been really, really fun. Like this has been the first time where I felt like I wasn't nervous to answer questions. Like because in Thai it's so hard. I have like what I want to say in English, and it has to be like translated, and sometimes it doesn't always come out the way I want it.
Yeah.
But this time I just felt like very comfortable. It just flowed. Yeah.
I'm glad that happened for you. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
มากครับผม
สวัสดีครับ
Oh, we're saying goodbye. Okay. Bye.